Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer. I wanted to do an update about my weight loss journey, first off, but I also want to do an update on my arm injury, my dog bite injury, my broken arm. So first, let me back up and say back in 2017, I had weight loss surgery. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy at the high weight of 261 pounds. Then at about 3.5 years post-op, I had a revision from VSG and I had gastric bypass. Now at that time, it was not for weight loss. It was very much because I was having severe complication of the acid reflux, which was causing Barrett's esophagus and some really, really significant damage to my esophagus that could actually have led to cancer. And so I had to be very, very proactive in solving that. And revision to gastric bypass RNY definitely has helped my acid reflux. I would say I get it very minimally, and I can typically pinpoint what is causing it. Like, yeah, maybe I had some coffee or I had some spicy food, but for me at this point, all I need is a simple Tums or something, and I'm good to go. My lowest weight ever since having surgery was 158 pounds, and that was only about 6 months ago or so. So I had revision surgery in February of last year. And so I'm approaching a year and a half post-op from having the revision to gastric bypass. I have had some pretty significant health issues in the past. Well, my entire life, I've kind of had health issues, and I do have some chronic conditions. But I have had some health stuff in the past year and a half. But my most recent issue was on May 26th. I was bitten by my dog and she broke my arm. Now, that led to being I was in a long arm splint for 10 days. And then I was in a full arm cast. And I started to, which I've talked about in my last videos, I was having a complication of my fingers being very, very swollen, and my movement was decreasing. The mobility started out pretty high. I was doing all the exercises. I was doing all the right things. And then, yeah, I started having some definite more complications. And so that was definitely affecting it might sound weird, but it very much affected my appetite, where I'm the type where when I'm in pain, I don't want to eat. And the fact that I only had one arm to use limited my options. And so I was eating a lot of small, like finger foods. Like I did notice I had some weight gain, like right at the get-go. And so because I had some of like the comfort foods were kind of given to me because I went through this traumatic injury. So my family was very sweet, and they got me sort of like my comfort foods, which like for me, like red vines and Starbucks and donuts. I mean, those are like my kind of like my go-to comfort foods. And they were so sweet and so kind, and they had all those things available for me, and I enjoyed them greatly. And because I was not very mobile, it was hard for me to get food. I would literally go to those snacks that were literally sitting right next to me. And so I did have some weight gain. And so I actually got up to a high weight of 170. And that's when I actually had weighed myself. And so over the time, so 158 was my lowest. I'd already kind of gotten up a little higher. And so at my injury, I don't know how much I was at my injury date. I can't remember, but when I weighed myself after about like a week or so after my injury and eating all that yummy bad food, I was up to 170. So I was like, oh, that was a little scary. And so I'm like, okay, low carb, I'm going. And so I started just doing like the low carb, like turkey rolls, salami rolls, basic foods like that. A lot of my Atkins shakes, my collagen cocos, really kind of doing that. And so like I think my last video, I gotten down to 168. Well, I'm now down to 166.6. And so I'm getting down there. A lot of it, I think a lot of the weight loss has to do with my lack of appetite. And when I do eat I'm definitely trying to stick to those low carb items. Now I was just at my parents' house for like 5 days. And so I did eat a little bit off plan, but not terrible, because we literally just didn't have a lot of snacky foods available. And so, I haven't weighed myself. So, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe I gained back like a pound or so, but you know what? It was sort of a vacation, and I'm still in quite a bit of pain. And so just getting through that. And as you recall, my dad did survive COVID-19. He almost died. I have a video about that in the past where he was on a respirator. We came very, very, very close to losing him. So having some comfort foods and with being able to spend time with my dad and my mom, who takes care of him so great, and she has gone through her own health issues. I mean, it's allowed, having like a night where like we had pizza, which was fantastic. I mean, we just ate comfort foods, and that's totally fine. In my opinion, that's totally fine, as long as it's like not like an everyday thing. I think it's great. Well, so that's where I'm at right now. 166.6 is my knowledge base, but my last time I weighed in was 166.6. But now let's talk about my arm and some pretty bad news about my arm. So in my last video, I mentioned that I really thought I needed to start something to address my hand issues, because it was, it was really concerning, to me. And so I ended up having to make an emergency appointment with the orthopedic doctor, because the pain was getting just really significant. I couldn't move my fingers at all. I was starting to get like full body chills. My hand turned this weird yellow color, and it was like something is very wrong. And I was getting a lot of burning sensations. And it was so weird that it was like, it would almost feel like it was hot, and then it would feel like it was cold. And so it was like, I felt like my ability to distinguish between sensations was changing. And so I did make an emergency appointment, and I went in and I saw the on-call orthopedic surgeon, and they immediately cut off my cast. Now I have another channel where I've posted more about this, like an actual video about my cast being removed and some of the concerns I was having that day. And I'll put a link to that either up at the top here or down in the description if you want to go check out that channel. So, and that was pretty intense for me. It was a very painful experience there, because when I got the cast removed, that wasn't necessarily painful, because the medical assistant that removed it was so kind, and he was so gentle, taking off this huge cast, and plus he knew that I was in pain, so he was so careful. Well, the doctor that came in was not careful. He was not gentle. He was not the doctor that I had seen in the past. I've got some things to say about him, and they're none of them good. And so I will just keep it at that. You guys can kind of tell my personality. So the fact that I have these sort of negative feelings, that's very rare for me. Well, so anyway, so what he ended up doing, and I remember my hand was like stuck in this odd position. I couldn't move. I was having a lot of pain. Well, he basically brought in a brace, and then he physically forced my hand into this brace that was so extremely painful, that he actually grabbed my arm to sort of force my arm in. And we actually think that he might have re-broken my arm, because he grabbed my arm, because it hurt. And so I had pulled like back, and he grabbed my arm to force it in. So the brace has like a sleeve like this. So you're supposed to put your hands like this and kind of like go through the brace, and then your thumb pops out. And actually I'll show you the brace. So this is the brace. My hand, as you can see, is very messed up. But what I had my husband do was, is I had him cut. That's all we had to do, was I had him cut this, so it wasn't torture to put the brace on. It seems so simple, right? But anyway, and so I have to wear this brace, because my arm is still broken, which we didn't know at the time. And so he diagnosed me with this. Now, this is the shocking part, a rare disorder called CRPS. Now, anyone out there in the medical profession, you'll probably know about this. It's called Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. It basically means that I am experiencing pain that is out of proportion to my actual injury. And that is definitely true, because my injury was a dog bite right here, yet it's my hand that is totally useless right now. It's totally messed up. I can't move my fingers. Well, so when I try, and right now I've actually been doing a lot of physical therapy, like on my own. And so I'm able to get my hands a little bit more, like, see that? That's like, this is like freaking amazing that I'm doing this right now. And so I'm 6 weeks post injury. So the fact, but this hurts. It doesn't, like, it's not me like going like this. This is painful. It causes pain down the break and down the middle, and yeah. But this is where I'm at with my broken arm. It is still broken. Oh, but got off track. And so I saw him last Thursday, a week ago, not this past Thursday, a week before that. And he's the one that put my arm in the brace. He's the one that had the cast cut off. Well, so that following Monday, so last Monday, I went in to see my regular doctor, and they did x-rays. And what it showed is that my bone, that when my dog bumped my elbow, it straightened out the bone, okay? So when my dog Bella bit me, it made the bone go outward. So the bone broke that direction. So it made like a peak. When my dog Raven bumped my elbow, it made it go completely in line. Well, the following Monday, after seeing this other doctor who put the brace on, who forced my arm in it through excruciating pain and tears and the whole 9 yards, now the bone is at an angle again, but it is facing this way. So when he grabbed my arm like that, so actually, sorry, it's this bone that is broken. This is the ulna. This is the radius. This is the ulna. So when he grabbed my arm, so his hand was like this. Now the bone is this way. It's like that. Isn't that a little suspicious, wouldn't you say? Anyway, the doctor said when he looked at the x-ray, I mean, he certainly wasn't going to say, oh yeah, his colleague grabbed my arm so hard it broke my arm again. Of course he's not going to say that, right? But he said the angulation was still within like this, the standard of non-operative. So they're going to just let it heal. And hopefully it does heal. It's got an angle, but I guess it's close enough to being straight. It's just, yeah, the whole thing. But basically, the bottom line is, with the diagnosis of CRPS, I can only pray that I'll get more use of my hand. I mean, seeing this little bit of improvement is like huge for me. There's also the improvement, I don't know if you could tell, but there is a mile space in between each of my fingers. That was not there even 2 days ago. So maybe my swelling is decreasing enough. I mean, I don't know, like, it's hard to tell. I can't move. See, I can't let go. Well, let me see. I'll do it for a second. So you see the difference in my hand size? So that's something that's different. So before I could hold up my arm with no pain. Now that my arm is like broken again, it's considerably more painful. My broken part of my arm. So now my hand hurts terribly. I have a lot of burning. my fingers don't move. I haven't used my hand in 6 weeks at all. But even me just doing that a little while ago, now I have a ton of pain right down the side. So problem is I don't have much pain management because I haven't seen my orthopedic doctor basically said, well, you have the CRPS, but we don't know what to do about it. And they actually don't call it CRPS. They call it RDS, which is, or RSD, I mean, regional sympathetic dystrophy. That was like the old word that it used to be called, and they've changed it to now CRPS. But so today I made an appointment with a neurologist. My appointment isn't until mid-August. I am literally kind of self-medicating with hydrocodone that I had. Okay, so this is like from a past surgery, from when I had my past surgeries that I didn't use. I mean, when I had my VSG and my other, I took less meds than I do now with my hand. I'm taking meds every single day, every couple hours. But see, I take very low doses, and that's probably my issue, is I kind of under medicate so that the pain, I've always got like a level of kind of chronic level of pain, but when it goes high, that's when I take more. But so that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm still, I feel like I don't want to let my eating out of control. I'm going to actually try to switch over to more of an anti-inflammatory diet. I'm going to be increasing my fruits and vegetables, sticking with, I'm going to cut out like the inflammatory things. I'm going to cut out cheese. I'm not literally psychologically able to cut out I'm going to keep my fat-free half and half, because that collagen cocoa is like my comfort food. And it's low carb, but I know that like half and half could be considered inflammatory, but it's my one little vice. It's my one thing. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to still continue with Atkins shakes or whatever protein shake that I happen to have on hand. I am going to cut out, though, all other processed foods. I'm really going to focus on my nutrition versus it being like a diet. My nutrition is going to be based on helping me heal this, because of course, and I'm sorry this video is getting so long, but my goal is to get the use of my hand back for me to be able to go back to work. And if I can go back to work, it means I can, continue to save for retirement, and I can continue to earn credits, service credits, and I can work towards my goal of retiring from my employer and have all the benefits of retiring from my employer that we have, fought very hard to have these certain benefits, because we are union. I am the union president, and so that is completely affecting my ability to go through contract negotiations. And I am on short-term disability right now. And so this is definitely affecting my life plan. And so my life plan does not include me being out of work for 3 to 6 months, or, I mean, I don't even want to think about like forever. I mean, anyway, Anyway, so my goal is just to get my hand back, and I'm a very, what's the word? Determined person. So I'm doing a lot of physical therapy. It really hasn't slowed me down much. I mean, I threw this amazing party for my husband. Oh my gosh. It was like the biggest party I've ever thrown. My daughter and I cleaned the whole house. We did all the food, and I'm so grateful to have such an amazing family. So when my family showed up, I was like, can you please, here's the stove, here's the beef. Can you please cook this for beef fajitas? Another family member, here's the chicken. Could you please cook this chicken for the fajitas? So I had everything planned out. I just needed people to do the job. Like, can you please cut up these bell peppers? Can you please cut up these onions? And so I chose food that had very few ingredients, and that it was a lot of open the package, put it into a container. I did a lot of that. I did go to a local restaurant, and I got a whole thing of like the beans. I got a whole thing of the rice, and then so I had that but even that was like 50 bucks just to do that. But I wasn't really trying to save money. I was just trying to, you know, coordinate. But I was able to throw this amazing party, even though I had already gone through all this. I had already been to the doctor. I had the cast removed. I had the pain of the new break. I had the new brace. I mean, all of this, I mean, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And having a supportive family, I mean, wow, that's what made all the difference. And my husband, who's been so amazing, this was his 50th birthday. I wanted it to be big. I wanted it to be a surprise party, and I had to tell him because I needed more help. And so he was able to help out a little bit more. And I wish this wasn't here so you can kind of see, you know, because like our backyard is still like kind of decorated, and it's just like, but this is actually for privacy because our neighbors, we're high up and our neighbors can like totally see inside of our house, like when the lights are on. And so we just wanted a little bit of privacy. That's why I stuck this one piece up, just to give us like probably a false feeling of privacy. But anyway, so I guess that's my point though, is that, you know, I'm doing basically all the same things, even though I'm in pain. I mean, nobody likes to be in pain, and I hate to be in pain just like everybody else, but if it needs to get done, it just is going to get done. It might just take me a lot longer, or if there's someone available to help, then, you know, we make do. And maybe I'll do a video about all the little things that I've been doing, the sort of like modifications to my regular way of doing things, just to make it work for someone with only one good hand. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, and I'm sorry this went so long. It's like almost 22 minutes. So I'll say goodbye, and I will see you at my next video. Bye now.